Hello people around the world, I'm USERM0mil, and today I come to show you the use of Hydra tool. Before I start I will tell you that this is not a demonstration of the use of Hydra tool as a professional, but this tutorial can help you or those who are starting in the world of hacking. So as I said, Hydra is an open source tool available on GitHub. This tool is very useful and powerful when it comes to perform brute force attacks to different services, such as SSH, Telnet, FTP, HTTP, etc. Well, Hydra has multiple parameters, so that the attacks can give positive results. In this video I will show you how to perform brute force attacks on some services. First we will start with the easiest attacks using Hydra. The first attack will be on a service, SSH. This service allows you to connect your computer to another computer or server through a terminal. Well, first we'll start the machine in tree hack called Hydra. Second, while we're waiting for the machine to start up. The machine starts up, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to open up a terminal and I'm going to go to my working directory and then create my working directory, and then I'm going to create a directory with the same name as the machine, Hydra. Okay, while we're waiting, let's see. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a brute force attack to the SSH service on the Hydra machine, which, once we get the credentials, we'll go in and we'll get a flag. And we will get a flag. Well, now that we have the machine's IP address, the IP address of the machine, I will get it by scanning the machine with a tool, map. And I will put the following. Here at this point we will see the open ports of the machine. Ready. Once finished we see that it has enabled the port 22, which belongs to the SSH service. Now let's use the SSH service. SSH service. Now we are going to use Hydra. To perform a brute force attack with Hydra, we will do the following. Hydra -S and we put the port and IP, -L to indicate the directory where our brute force file is located. Our file is located for user brute force, -P to indicate the directory where our file is located for user brute force, -P to indicate the directory where our file is located for user brute force. We use -V to see the attempts with users plus passwords. We also use -P to indicate the directory where our file is located for brute force. We also use -F so that when it finds the password, Hydra stops automatically, and finally we put the name of the service, SSH. We hit enter and wait. Whoops, I had to pause, because I remembered when I read in TreeHack, I saw that they had put a valid user. I had not seen it, sorry XD. Well then we do the same process as before, but this time, we change the letter L capital letter, by the letter L in lowercase, and we remove the path of the file rakia.txt and we will put the valid user, that is, Molly. We give enter and wait. Great, we have valid credentials. Let's test. Well, as we see that the credentials are valid, now we do ls and we see the flag. Now that we have seen an example with the SSH service, let's test the HTTP service. First we will open the page and we will put invalid credentials, but before we will open the inspector of the page and we will go to where it says network, followed of that we see as the credentials are sent, and with that method, it can be get, post, etc. Well, now that we have seen all that, we see that the credentials are sent by the method post, then we go to the terminal and we will put the following. Hydra minus lowercase l followed by the valid user, Molly. Now we will put minus uppercase p followed by the directory where the file with the passwords is. In this case I will use the file. In this case I will use the file, Molly. In this case I will use the file, Rakia.txt. Well, now we will put the URL of the page. In this case would be the IP address and delete the following. Now we will put in the method that the credentials are sent, that is the post method. Now we put the root or form in which the credentials are sent, that will be in this form. Remember that when it is made, brute force is made to the logins of the pages, always puts the message that throws us when we put invalid credentials, and always checks where the credentials go. Normally login.php or only knows to say login, as in this machine, where they go the user puts it as well as where it goes the password, and as siempre the parameters. -v and -f and enter. Ready. Ready, we got the valid credentials from the page. Now let's test if they are really valid. And as you can see that they are valid, we set the flag and that's it. We have made the Hydra machine. Now, I am also going to show you how to brute force the FTP service, which is the same as we did with the SSH service, but changing some things. First I am going to open the FTP service on my machine and see if it initializes correctly. We see that according to map, the FTP service is open on port 21. I'm going to go to the browser to check that everything is working. Well, now that everything is working correctly, it's time to perform this attack. Of course, as we know that the service running is on my machine, we are going to create some small dictionaries to brute force. Now that we have the dictionaries ready, we proceed to use Hydra and we will put the following. Hydra, -L, -P, our IP address where the FTP service runs, -v, -f and finally the service it is, FTP. When at the end it is put, FTP or SSH is when the port by which it runs in the IP are by default. In SSH the port is the 22 and in FTP it is the 21. Well, now that we know this, we hit enter and wait for the credentials. Great, we see the credentials and now we are going to verify if they are valid. And that's it, credentials are valid, we have access to the FTP service of this machine successfully, now we just have to steal information, LOL. And as you saw, this is only the basic use of the tool, Hydra, But maybe in the future it will bring a more advanced use, just doing, less help. You will already have all the parameters to use with Hydra, plus the services and protocols it works on. Well, I hope you liked the video. I hope you have learned something, and if so, let me know. If you have any error or doubt, you can contact me. I will leave the contact link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.